Hey, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts and this is True Divine. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. This is where I combine the energy work that I do and the tarot work that I do to bring you a narrative to help you guide your day, realize all of your potentials using your intent and foresight that you might get here regarding the energies you feel within you, around you, and within others. So much love to everybody. And this is for the 15th of May, 2021. Didn't get on yesterday. I needed to do some ceremony to say goodbye to a dear friend. And I also wanted to spend the time with the kids. So we went to the seaside and they got freezing in the sea, but it was beautiful and much, much needed. So as the first cards, I'm going to clarify as I go because I was trying to get this out earlier and Theodore just decided not. So take what resonates as it is general, leave a comment and leave what does not resonate for sure because it is general. So let's go. We have got the Queen of Wands as the first card. So this is speaking of passion, but it's passion that is veiled under sometimes a lot of shyness, but the fertility here for the creative juices to flow within the energy of the Queen of Wands is beautiful and strong and should be utilized. She has the sunflower and that's a sign of peace. Peace and understanding, and her wand, you can see there's leaves on her wand, so she is the fire queen. So you would think, you know, immediately the fire queen, she has her legs open, but she has them veiled by her dress and guarded by the cat that represents the goddess, the guardian of her vital creative parts, whether that's physical creative parts of a woman or whether that is what those physical parts become a portal to when used in the right and proper and sacred way, what kind of creative things can be brought forward. It also speaks to what can be brought forward that you might not want also when you're not guarding this sacred energy of the divine woman, the divine feminine, the physical representation of the divine feminine within this realm, the creative portal that is so creative and beautiful. Babies can be born from there, which is a magical process in of itself, the most magical process. And also that you can birth things into your reality, you know, jobs, partners, you can birth higher knowledge and knowing through this practice. That's the whole thing about the tree, isn't it? Within all of the stories, all of the ancient stories, it's the tree of life. You know, it's the tree that represents the intercourse, the combination of the two. That's where we get the major arcana, the Lover's card. So to be very open and loving to self first and foremost, and a lot of womb healing might be very beneficial for women, where they can really go back into their memories, into the experiences that maybe haven't brought the most happy times, or there's certain scars there that need to be looked at, because the release of this will create a different level of woman in you, in that you will become so much more freely creative, so much more spontaneous with that, and bring into your life through this portal and the reverence that you give to it, you bring into your life the very things that you would desire most. And some of you are doing that with this Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands energy, because we've got the Ace of Cups. And so this is all about knowing thyself, loving thyself, really understanding, innerstanding, overstanding, to know what it really feels like to actually appreciate and love yourself. A lot of you women in particular would do well to stand naked in front of a mirror today, and you know, those thoughts will creep in at first of, I don't like that bit, I don't like that bit, I want you to not look at just the body. Excuse me, take note of the body, yes, and appreciate the body and appreciate the beauty and strength and in the skin. But then go deeper, look at the organs and look at the job that they do, and work your way down to this creative space that is represented physically within you, this portal that brings other beings in, so you can bet your life it brings into your life what you are what you're manifesting. And so if it is with you've had struggles with partners, with abuses in the past, or giving yourself too freely to the wrong people, there's something there that is driving you. There's something there, there's an inner demon there that can be turned into a diamond. But to look at it honestly and look at it barely and raw in the naked represents and helps you get into that inner space where you can really start to appreciate what has happened and how you can let go of that. And that transmutes then into this Ace of Cups, which is overwhelming knowing and loving of self, appreciation of self, of all the layers and aspects, even the wrongdoings and the right doings that you have done, to really have the same, especially for the empaths out there, to really have the same understanding and compassion that you have for others. Sometimes a lot of the empaths that I meet have that problem, me included, in that, you know, you have to gain wisdom in doing this, and a release in all of the indoctrination of the religious programs, of even with the way laws are set up around the world, that this is wrong to do, this is right to do, this is taking ownership of you. It's so ridiculous that any law or opinion of another person outside of our physical body and our life experience, it's so ridiculous that we still would give that away to the judgment of a religious program, or to the judgment, you know, we've got women covering up their hair because they don't want to allow those demons to creep in, you know, because they're being too attractive. That's really happening around the world still, which is ludicrous. And so it is up to us in our individual lives as women to take hold of who we are and appreciate who we are. There's a real driving force behind this, in that the sleeping goddess that has been asleep for a long time, since this timeline, this hijack took over this realm and started to gain power within this realm, and conversely we were giving away our power that we previously had. The goddess was put to sleep. The power, the passion, the creativity, the beauty of the goddess was put to sleep. There's a reason for that, and there's a reason they've worked so hard throughout all of the systems that they've built, these so-called powers that be, to degrade and defile and limit the woman, the female. There's a reason for that. It's because the goddess energy really does exalt the masculine energy. So when the goddess energy is apparent within the people, then we start to feel the goddess energy that is all around us in nature. That kind of force and power is unmatched in this realm. And I think that's why they've worked so hard. I know that's why they've worked so hard to do what they've done, to put that goddess to sleep in our consciousness, literally building statues to represent sleeping goddesses. Snow White, the sleeping goddess. It took as well, for the men that are listening today, the master, the right one that would appreciate and give reverence to Snow White. That was the only thing that would wake her: love, appreciation, and reverence. And for those men who listen, and I know my men who listen are so wise and compassionate and seeking of knowledge and truth and understanding, you guys are masters, and you are a match to the goddess energy, and you have a role in this. You have a role in this to teach your daughters. You have a role in this to teach fully grown women that you can awaken the goddess within them. You can help them, guide them. You can't do it for them, but you can help them and guide them through your actions, through your words, through how you touch, how you look at this woman, the goddess, to awaken that goddess energy within, to help her appreciate the importance of self-love, rather than first looking outside for, you know, the okay, the nod, the tick from others. And so masters are very much involved in this also. And this is happening because the energies around us are stirring. I said a long time ago, I had visions of during this time that the goddess energy the mother, the earth that we stand upon, was going to shake. There was going to be lots of shaking of ground, lots of volcanic type, you know, she was shaking the bones in this vision to the surface, so that for those with eyes to see and ears to hear could not ignore what she knew, could not ignore what she had been buried in her soil, all of the atrocities, all of the true actions and reasons behind those atrocities, the blood that she absorbed and felt. And so there's a real stirring of this energy around us, and there's a real stirring of this energy in us. And so it's for us to really use the energies as they come in the way that would help us reach our highest potentials, because it doesn't just impact us like the domino effect, like the biofeedback effect. You grow that energy, and this is the very energy that they are terrified of. Through all of their teachings, through all of their systems, they've worked super hard to defile and hold down the woman, the goddess energy. So this is a really powerful energy for today. Now we've got the Knight of Swords after, and this is where thoughts coming in thick and fast, swords being words, thoughts, and consciousness, you know, so this is a fast energy coming in. And so you might feel a bit swept off your feet with this, but for those masters out there, this is why I spoke to you, because this would represent you as masters, knowing what to say and when, and being quite forceful with that, forceful in a good way. And so there's two forces here, the divine masculine energy today and the divine feminine energy today, that is really there within many people, and it should be utilized and absorbed and used to the most and best of your abilities, to really make the most of the energies around us, which is what we should be doing each and every day. A lot of us have forgotten how to be in connection with that that's around us, and how to make the most of that that is around us. Sometimes making the most out of what feels like a very bad decision, and sometimes, you know, having them around us and knowing and feeling that you've just got a backing. It's like the wind's behind you, pushing you rather than in front of you. And it's for us to get reconnected with ourselves, which then helps us get reconnected with everything that is around us, which then makes us much more powerful, makes us much more impactful, and much less compliant and submissive to these hijackers, these so-called powers that be, that puppet themselves, that sell their souls quite literally, to have the riches within this realm, to have their roles within this realm. And so the more we do this for ourselves, the more people see through this and actually start to question how are they like that, you know? So we have the Fool card, Major Arcana 0. So this is the 0 point energy. You have gone through this process, whether you're male or female, both of you having a balance of divine feminine, divine masculine within you, but then being the representation of the masculine and the feminine in the male and female. And so both of you are finding different ways, because the masculine masters who are part of waking the goddess energy, of being the knight that comes in with the right words, with the right actions, with the right thoughts, comes in with that reverence. You exalt the divine feminine energy, and vice versa. This pulls you up. This realizes your mastership, it realizes your role for you and emboldens you. So both male and female today have the capacity to have this 0 point energy of, right, okay, this is different. This is different. The wind is behind us. There is an experience going forward. It might not look like anything you've recognized before, but the Fool card goes not in a foolish nature, but almost to the point of, well, we've just got to go, we've just got to try, and we'll experience what we experience along the way. And each experience will just be another stitch for good or bad. It might be dangerous along the way, it might be blissful along the way, it might be a mix of all of them. And that's what the Fool card energy embraces fully, because he is confident in his energy in knowing thyself. So all of the process I've discussed thus far helps 0 point in on you and what you are driven intuitively to do, the path forward. Now, the Fool card isn't a fool in that it doesn't recognize the dangers, I feel. For me, it's more that it just knows he's got a capacity to deal with whatever is thrown at him, and he will experience life regardless. He or she, it's just for want of better words, it's an energy. And so each experience, for good or bad, is just another stitch in his very beautiful tapestry that he wears like a skin. And so the white rose here, I want to speak to this, and I want to speak to something that just came through, and I haven't got time to do enough research because it just came through. But the white sun and the white rose really speaking out to me of the divine goddess and things that were hidden that represented the true stories of the goddess energies within the religions that people follow today, the organized religions. This white rose of this hidden female figures that represented the divine goddess energy on this realm, in order to suit their narrative, to meet their narrative. So where you have the divine masculine energy as in the male going forward, taking the action, you have it driven by this divine feminine energy, a white light of purity. But not of fear. And you can see that he's wearing white underneath his very colourful tapestry that he wears. And so there's a mix of the two here, the 0 point into the balance point, the scales within, and recognizing the attributes of the divine feminine, divine masculine. Now, any male scoffing at this and thinking, oh, this is, poppycock, really try it. It is not. You're made of a male and a female made you. And so there's a representation of everything within each layer of us and everything. And so this representation within you is such a power. So if you want to be a master in life, this is what you need to look at, to be able to 0 point in and be the middle point of your scales that balance out the two, in order to know when to take action with that intuitive divine feminine side and when to pull back, for instance. And also within you being able to relate and recognize your partners or potential partners in the future, you're going to get a much better response in bed and just in general if you can balance out these points within and recognize them. Because you can recognize what is within you, you can recognize what becomes conscious to you. And so in doing so, it stands to reason you're going to have better results in relationships for sure, outside of the inner self. Now, the Four of Cups comes up to clarify this Fool card. Some of you still might be just on the precipice, just on the cliff of this journey of divinities within and recognizing them, because the Four of Cups resembles not being able to see the wood for the trees, so to speak, being in a bit of an emotional fog. And so this process that I've described throughout this reading is going to help you get out of that and to be able to see the cup that is being handed from the heavens, so to speak. On other decks, it's represented as a hand coming from the heavens with a cup that has everything in it that you need to go forward. The rest, is fog, is muddy waters. And so to be able to let go of that and be able to see what is being handed to you, you might not, it might come from the strangest direction, or words from the most, from people you would never expect, the most unexpected places, but take it for what it is. Now, on the bottom of the deck, we have another divine feminine energy where we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this speaks of Earth, Mother Earth, the tangible, creativeness, abundance, adornment, recognition of beauty, beauty within everything, yourself, nature, beauty within it all, within the everything. And being able to recognize this, it grows, it's attracted to you. A lot of you might be having visits with birds and things like that that are coming to you. You can see she's got a little visitor there on her hand. Nature's being drawn to you, all within nature. That from food to the car you drive, to the appreciation of the sea, of the trees, of the nature within it, and the appreciation that you get back back. As you awaken this divine feminine goddess, you're going to see colours that you didn't see before in nature. You're going to see animals cross your path that you didn't see ever before, or it's very rare for anybody to see. Literally the Snow White story, you're going to be at one with nature. A lot of you are singing, sing outside, feel the feedback that you get from nature, especially in the forests and a field, sea, you get that feedback. At sea, I find for screaming, singing, releasing things to the sea tends to not give you back what you put out. It tends to draw from you the same way salt draws from something. And so I use the sea for that when I need to release, rather than having the immediate feedback. The feedback is from the sea for me is the emptiness that then I can go forward and imprint upon, because the sea takes, and the big body that it is distills and distributes it for me, and it's released to the sea. When my mum would bind things up in spirit, you know, I always learned from her, and it was always chains for me to visualize, chains around a chest and strewn to the darkest depths of the ocean, where it would gradually dissolve to nothing. And that was one of the more strict bindings she would do. Spirit was messing with her kid. So, and in other ways. And so, yeah, that representation for me is, so singing in the forest, yeah, you get that boom feedback. It bounces off the trees and boom, they give you back, and you feel it. It lifts you up. In a field, again, a very big field with a lot of wind, it acts like the sea for me. It draws and carries away, it releases. And so figure out how the elements work for you, how the representations work for you to be able to utilize them. You're made up of elements within. Use the elements on the outside too to feed off, and for them to feed from you and build up or release and distill, and be able to imprint on the next element that you're working with. Play with that. You're going to find super amounts of power in that, and you're going to be recognized for that, which is why on the bottom of the deck, with this sort of warning as to don't hang on to that you need to let go of. See the cup that has everything in it for you, going back to the Ace of Cups, all about self-love first before you can attract anything else in of this magnitude, of this significance. But also, when you manage to do that, you get the Seven of Swords, which might attribute to the Four of Cups, in that other people want to take from you. And when you are entering into this kind of divinity, this kind of divine energy, you will find that the wisdom needs to come, that you don't just give away energy to anybody, to anything. That is not the wise way. Yes, it's great being of love and light, but it's not a balance to just be that. There has to be the wisdom of, okay, you're going to steal from me, you're going to take from me, you're going to steal my thoughts, you're going to put thoughts within me, or you're going to try to, or you're going to steal in the physical from me. You know, if you're going to start copying how I dress and making sure you turn up to the same party in the same clothes, things like that. People who aren't ready to do this journey can try and imitate it, sometimes just totally subconsciously and not even knowing that they're doing it. But it is for you to have the wisdom and the authority to say, I'm sorry, and not even need to explain it. Some circumstances you might feel like you can explain the journey that you're on, but much of the time with these energies that might be around you, it's not worth it. Have the wisdom to know that no matter what is said or done to anybody, I know me and I know why I'm doing this. My intuition is telling me that this is a sucking energy, a taking away energy, and there's no feedback there. So be aware of that for sure. So that's the reading for the 15th of May 2021. Do I need to say anything else? Oh, I didn't clarify the Knight, the Master, sorry. So the Magician. Another major arcana, number 1. So the magician has all of the elements represented. That's why I went on about the elements. All of the elements represented in this card, because the magician is learning how his craft, her craft, to work with the different elements, to play around with it and to gain in the knowledge. And that happens through experience, and it happens through living life. It happens through not being afraid to live life, like this Fool card, not being afraid to let go of that is needed to be let go of for your greatness, for you to reach your full potentials. So those 2 major arcanas are super important. The infinite also, you know, to not be afraid to try things, to not be afraid to enter into this energy because you think you'll mess your life up. Knowing that with this Fool energy, you can make it an experience, and getting used to using your divinities, things won't break you the way that they used to. Relationships ending, jobs ending, fears of what is going on. Yeah, you can feel them, but you're going to be transmuting them so much quicker. So the same fears that you have because of the experiences in the past, by doing this inner work, you're going to find that you get quicker and quicker at releasing things, even the worst of experiences. And so you're going to become adept rather than a young spirit within this realm. And so that's the reading now for the 15th of May 2021. I hope it helps you. I hope you reach your highest potentials. Please subscribe and please share, because the subscribers could go up and we could do more with that. If you want a personal reading with me, or any energy flow sessions, or spiritual guidance, spiritual coaching sessions, you can book up with me at truedivinemedia@gmail.com, or you can send a message at truedivine44. Check out my socials. Add yourself, because I'm not really great at them, but it's great getting connected with people. And I've got an exciting guest coming on Wednesday to talk about the 9/11. And he is so informative, so up to date with everything. I saw him in an interview and thought, I'm going to try. And he's had the goodwill and beautiful heart to say, yes, it's fine, I'll come on. So that was a bit of a surprise, a nice surprise, and I'm super excited for that. So I'm going to be making up a thumbnail, and we'll be going live on Wednesday at 9 o'clock UK time. So please be there, because this guy is the bomb regarding this, and he has a lovely energy. I've watched a few things that he's done before I reached out after I saw the initial video, and he's got a lovely energy, and he is on a mission to release people from the veil of mistruths, untruths, outright lies regarding things that really hurt people, that have come from the powers that be for now. And he's really informative with that, and such a good heart. So I'd really appreciate it if you share that when I put that thumbnail out, and please be there. Love you all. Much balance, love and wholeness. Have a great day.